Welcome to our 21st video in the Gospel of Love series. We hope you are doing well. If a person wants to be a true Christian and actually be introduced to Jesus and the Supreme Father, then they must find a genuine spiritual teacher, someone who is a confidential, loving servant of the Supreme, someone who knows the Supreme Person and who is his representative, who is doing his will. That is the meaning of a bona fide spiritual teacher. We are advised in the scriptures that we must hear from such a knower of God, and that he can show us the truth because he sees the truth. He can introduce us to God because he knows God. If we try to know Jesus and the Supreme Father just from reading the Bible by ourselves, it is not going to be enough. To just try to read the Bible is like trying to understand something infinitely more complex than physics. If you go to the university and you get one of the textbooks, do you try to study it by yourself? It is not meant to be learned in that way. The book comes with the teacher, and then the teacher uses it as the foundation for the class and everything. In a similar manner, joining a church is a good first step, but it is not enough by itself. If we want to actually have a change of heart, develop real faith and love in God, then we need to have the help of a bona fide spiritual teacher. It is not possible to transcend the influence of the material world by ourselves. For that, we have to develop our love for God. And to come to that point, we have to have contact with lovers of God or with the lover of God. We should take instructions from that person, follow that person's advice, and learn from him how I can develop my love for God. Sometimes we hear a person saying, "You do not need a teacher other than Jesus." But then that person gives lectures or sermons, or maybe he starts preaching to people on the street, or he preaches to you in your home. Such a person says that he does not need a spiritual teacher, but you do. Need him as your spiritual teacher. Jesus Christ himself humbly approached John the Baptist and took initiation from him. In Matthew 3:13-17, we hear, "Then Jesus arrived from Galilee at the Jordan, coming to John to be baptized by him. But John tried to prevent him, saying, 'I have need to be baptized by you. Why do you come to me?' Jesus answered him, 'Permit it at this time, for in this way it is fitting for us to fulfill all righteousness.' Then John baptized him. After being baptized, Jesus went up from the water, and behold, the heavens were opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending as a dove and coming upon him. And behold, a voice out of the heavens saying, 'This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.'" So we should notice here that the heavens were opened up to Lord Jesus Christ after he had been baptized, that the Lord Jesus was intent on doing what he knew would be pleasing to the Father. He knew that the Father would be pleased by his approaching the Father's representative and accepting initiation from him, even though he himself may have been superior to the spiritual teacher. Thus, the Supreme Person was pleased with him. We should not neglect to follow this ancient law of approaching the representative of God.